Hello, everybody. Welcome to episode number 224 of Rush Roundtable. Paul and I are back by popular demand, I guess. Um, for in the last one we did, the last playlist builder we did, it was 50 songs for 50 years, building a career-defining playlist of songs that defined Rush's career. Well, we got a handful of comments saying do it again, but do 50 deep cuts. And those comments more or less told us to kind of pick just our favorites, right? Our favorite deep cuts. So two things. The first thing is the first five, we're going to rotate back and forth as we did last time, but the first five of each of our picks are going to be our favorites, but also maybe some popular-ish deep cuts, songs that we think the fan base are also kind of beloved deep cuts. We're going to try to be objective-ish for the first 5, 10 total. The second thing is the term deep cut. I mean, that's can be argued all over the place. What's a deep cut? What isn't a deep cut? I'm not here to debate it. What we think are deep cuts are what we think are deep cuts. If you disagree, great, leave a comment. I don't care. But you can debate that until, well, I just lost my video again. This seems to happen every freaking episode. Anyways, we can debate that until the world ends. It doesn't matter. We're going to do our best to try to define some deep cuts here and build 50 songs. So why don't you go first?
All right. So deep cut, I'm taking to mean not the most popular, because a lot of people said, oh, this is missing, that's missing. We acknowledged that at the start of the last episode. We're not going to repeat ourselves. So I'm going to go a little bit deep on these, but as Ryan explained. So I'm going to go semi-chronological and bounce around. Making memories.
Okay, good one.
I think there's enough love for it, and it's a deep cut.
Um, this one might be a cop out, but I'm gonna do it anyways. I don't know how deep you would consider this, but it's certainly probably relatively deep on its album, and that's Jacob's Ladder. Um, it's again not a super deep cut, but we missed it on the first time through, and it's at least the third-ish, maybe fourth-ish most popular track on its album. So I think it's a deep cut for its album. So not super deep in the catalog, but I think definitely one worth putting on this list. So you're up.
Okay, so if we are kicking in a few of the it should have beens, then I'll take this for the team as well. But Bastille Day.
Okay. Again, the first 10 objective deep cuts. So in keeping with that, what I consider to be the third or fourth-ish most popular song on its album as well, A Farewell to Kings from A Farewell to Kings. I think, of course, you got Xanadu and Closer to the Heart and Cygnus X1 Book 1. Farewell to Kings, in my opinion, falls kind of in the 3 to 4-ish range, so deep-ish for its album. So, and definitely a beloved track. So, your turn.
All right. Well, between live chat and comments, something that was noted was their highest U.S. chart single, and I would agree. I was wrestling with it on the last episode. I'm gonna throw New World Man on there.
Yep. Yep. Now, I mean, I will, I will bring up the argument that it has to be on here just because it was omitted in the last one. Obviously, Subdivisions is the probably the most beloved popular track from that album. Signals. New World Man charted the highest, so there's going to be probably some arguments to that. But you also have to remember that I don't think New World Man was played live by the band after the Rio Vapor Trails tour, right? I don't think it was
Yeah,
played
that
live
sounds
at.
right.
So you could argue it's a deep cut in that regard, right? So okay, sorry, just tried to justify that for you so you don't get too much hate. um, so
They're
I'm
gonna
I'm gonna
really love my individuals. Go ahead.
yeah, I'm gonna go with another popular-ish one and Circumstances from Hemispheres. So I think with circumstances, it's probably the deep cut from Hemispheres. I mean, he's only got four choices, but a lot of people kind of define that song as a Rush deep cut. Weirdly enough, I think it's pretty beloved too. So I like it. So that's what I'm going to go with.
All right. I'm trying to go a little bit newer and saving my totally biased ones for once we get started on that. So keeping it round. Let's go with. Sorry, burning more time than I know we want to take on this, but I'm looking for the unbiased ones. Um, go with Body Electric.
Okay. Uh, I'm going to go. I think there was mention of this in the comments on the last one. Another from Permanent Waves, Entree New. I
I wrestled with
believe.
that one last list, so yeah.
Yeah, it's. I wouldn't say it's career defining, really. I mean, maybe you can make that argument, but I think I could make more of an argument towards it being a deep cut. Again, it's one of the last chosen songs here for these playlists from Permanent Waves. Um, I know our pal Donna Halper loves it. It's a beloved track. Got to be in this first 10 here. So we each got one more, and then we can start picking personal favorites.
All right. I see. I argue that this isn't a deep cut, but there's a lot of love for this one, and not like you hear it a lot on the radio. It just got a lot of live play later, but Between the Wheels.
Fair enough
I
to
think that was
me.
the last safe one.
Yep, I would agree. And I'm going to argue an objective deep cut would be Territories. People love Territories. You're probably never going to hear it on the radio. Um, again, popular deep cuts. I think that's a good. I think that's a good start. So, um, all right. So let's get to it. We need 40, 20 each. Tw 20 personal favorite deep cuts of Paul's and mine. So, what do you got? Go first.
First one, Open Secrets. I absolutely want that on there. I want it on there.
I have a feeling we're going to have a lot of overlap here because we like similar.
I'm trying to keep that in mind. I'm skipping a couple I know you'll call.
Well, I know that we both love the 80s and 90s and the 2000s, and our least favorite decade, both of us, is probably the 70s, oddly enough. But I'm going to go back to my favorite song from the debut album, and that's Here Again. Um, just because I wanted to start my personal one here with a song that's celebrating its 50th birthday recently, right? So here again, it's a bluesy track. It was one of the three that Donna played in Cleveland, um, along with Working Man and Finding My way back in 1974. But I think I don't know when they stopped playing that live, but I have to imagine it was probably way back in the 70s because there's no actual documented recording of it other than I believe ABC Live. Um, so or like official recording of it. So yeah, it's just one that seemingly got forgotten about over the years, and therefore I think it's deep.
Okay. My next one, since I want to make sure that the 70s get some love here too, Tears. One of my favorite of the entire era.
Nice. All right, I'm gonna try to go all the way to the end here. I'm gonna go to Clockwork Angels, and I'm gonna go with the deep cut here called "Wish Them Well." I think there is. We talked about callbacks with Headlong Flight. I think there's some slight callback with "Wish Them Well," only because not musically, but thematically. So they'll never admit it, but obviously this was a part of the story, the Clockwork Angels story. But when you look at 2112, it was kind of them taking a shot at the record company. And what can you do? Well, you can give them the middle finger and you can wish them well, right? The record company. I'm, it's a stretch, I get it, but I think
Personal preferences on a deep cut.
no, I'm saying my explanation of that is a stretch, but like I think this one definitely is a deep cut. Yeah, totally. But I like it in terms of that because it kind of gives me vibes of that era where they're kind of flipping the bird to the people who try to drag them down, right? So, but in a mature, polite way with wish them well, so shows the progression. So, what do you got?
All right. Well, I will take a cue from you, and as much as you know how much I love Clockwork, I'm trying not to overload any one era, but looking at Clockwork, I want Halo Effect on there.
Good one. All right. This one's a no-brainer for me. It probably needs no explanation other than I love it. And from Vapor Trails, it's how it is. I think now I'm gonna just start, just to pick up the pace a little bit,
Mhm.
start picking ones that I just completely love and maybe intertwine some that are just ones I like that I think need to be on here. So that's where I'm going to start.
All right. Well, I will follow your lead, boss, and go with Warpaint. I
Hmm.
have to have
Already had it selected when you started to say that. Already highlighted it to copy and or cut and paste it off of our list here. So okay, hmm. Let's go Alien Shore.
yes. I don't have to burn one of mine on it because it absolutely would have been on mine.
Yep,
Just
Alien
there's some
Shore.
of our overlap.
I'll have a few more from counterparts, I'm sure.
Yep. Juggling a couple already. So, first one I looked at, Kid Gloves. I have been listening to that off and on for about the last 3 months.
Yep,
So,
just heard it today myself. Was going to consider it. All right, I'm going to just keep with counterparts here, and we're going to go Double Agent.
and you grabbed another one of mine, which is great. Frees me up. Ooh, deep, 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 deep cut. This is me at my most selfish. I want Heresy on there. Historical, all the reasons we talked about Manhattan Project,
Yep.
and same topic was covered in Snakes and Arrows later. So,
Yep. All right, continuing with the counterparts theme. My last one for now is going to be Everyday Glory. I got to have Everyday Glory on the list.
listen to it yesterday. More overlap. Ooh, okay. Jumping over to Hold Your Fire. I'm bouncing between two. Go with Lock and Key. Absolutely kills live. Love the studio version, but absolutely killed live.
Yep, love it. Probably would have been on mine eventually here soon. Way back on episode, I think number 75, we did our personal favorite top 10 songs. A lot of mine were deep cuts, so I'm going to just start naming those off. Starting with Chemistry from Signals. Um, of course, my favorites have fluctuated a slight bit over the years since we did that, but way back in 2021, but I gotta have Chemistry.
Alright. Playing around with my four favorites. Ah, Time and Motion. We need more tests for Echo. Time and Motion, one of the best on the album, in my opinion.
All right. I'm gonna take my time, my Test for Echo pick here, which would be my favorite song from Test for Echo, which is Totem. Um, I absolutely a deep cut. It's heavy, it's fast, it's somewhat of a tongue twister, I'm sure, to some people. Just try to sing. So I love it. I love Totem. I gotta have Totem on here.
All right, definitely a deep cut. Wasn't played live to my knowledge ever, which is a shame because it is my favorite off of Vapor Trails. Vapor Trail. Absolutely love that song.
All right. And sticking with my personal favorites theme, from episode 75 of Rush Roundtable, go to Power Windows, pick Grand Designs. Gotta have me some Grand Designs.
Yep. All right, I'm going back to my favorite. So, what off Presto should be on here? You know what? I felt bad that this. I'm sort of breaking the rules here because I felt bad. This really does need to be on there, and it's one of my favorites. Title track off Presto. It really, really needs to be on here.
Yeah, I would have totally picked that, but I'll let you be the bad guy because I don't know how much of a deep cut that's considered. Um, deep in the catalog, but for that
Yeah,
album, I guess, right? But okay, so for that album, maybe not so much. But I'm gonna go on Motion Detector.
I was waiting for
Uh,
that one.
another one that needs no explanation from me. Just go back and watch all 223 episodes of Rush Roundtable.
All right. Ah, deep, deep, deep. I'll stay in my comfort zone. Hold your fire. Second nature.
Nice. I saw your cursor there too. So all right. Let's go to an album that I've come to really love and adore and appreciate over the years, and that's Snakes and Arrows. So let's pick a few here. This is slightly cheating from last time, because I said it was probably one of the three or four that I would pick for a defining playlist, but it is a deep cut, and that's Armor and Sword. I would classify it as, somewhat of a deep cut. It's again one of my favorites. Got to have it on the list.
Yep. Now you beat me to that one. So, since we're there already, I already picked Heresy. Stick with the theme. I want Spindrift on there.
Okay. Yep, yep, yep. And I want the larger bowl on there. So I'm
How
gonna
many
do
we at?
a quick copy and rearrange here.
Yep.
Uh, how many are we at? I don't know. I'm not keeping count, but I'm just gonna measure it alongside the other list that we have going.
That's yeah.
So maybe 15, 20 more here.
Oh, great.
Okay. Okay. I just went larger bowl. Your turn.
I'm gonna dance around a little. I think it's arguable to call this a deep cut. Oh, you know what? Scratch that. This is a deep cut. I want In the End on there.
In the end, just listen to that one today too. I was gonna pick that. Yep.
Yeah.
The long way to scroll up though, so
No.
probably would have forgotten about it. So I'm glad you picked it. Okay. For those wondering, we have a list. I got it on my second monitor. Paul's got it on his phone, and it's three columns, and it's got last episode's playlist, and then the rest of the songs that are available. Okay, so in keeping with my favorites, gonna go back to Signals and pick The Weapon. Great tune.
Wonder when
Great.
Fear was gonna come out. Yep.
Yep, yep, yep.
Favorites, favorites, favorites. Well, I'll light a fire. There's my cursor. I want Neurotica on here. About as deep as it gets.
More or less, yeah. Um, okay, so I really this is also, you could probably argue, as deep as it gets, from Vapor Trail's Nocturne. Um,
Yep.
Neurotica and Nocturne back to back might be an interesting pairing there, so we'll go with that.
Yeah. All right. Now it's getting a little trickier. Oh, thought I was done with Clockwork. I'm not. All-time favorites, The Wreckers.
Yep, works for me. Um, those that watch enough of this know how much I love Signals, so gonna grab Digital Man. Love Digital Man.
All right. I'm looking for underrepresented albums. So we've picked, not clean, but we've picked our favorites off the biggies. So I will stick with my comfort zone again. Uh, deep cut, deep cut. I think this could qualify as a deep cut. Where'd we go? I really love Cold Fire.
Okay. Yep.
That was the first song I really, really loved off the album when it came out.
Yep. Okay. I'm gonna go back to Hold Your Fire and go with High Water. I love
I
High
wondered if
Water. Yeah, I love High Water. I think it's definitely forgotten about. I think it might be the most forgotten about track in the entire catalog because it sits behind Taishan and a lot of
like
people
a
get
wall.
to. Yeah, if you're listening to it on if you're listening to it on vinyl, you get to Taishan, you're like, let's just turn it off. I mean, I feel like that's probably something people do. Um, I think it's worth pulling it away from Taishan, putting it on this list, so hopefully folks will listen to it and appreciate it more. So,
All right. Never played live. Extremely clever writing. And one of my favorite of all of Neil's drum fills, just because of the placement. Uh, you landed
did
right
I
on
just
it.
click it? Yeah,
Anagram.
I knew that
I
was
think we
coming.
know each other really well at this point. Exactly. Anagram for Mongo. That final drum fill, absolutely.
All right, so there's nine left. So I have five left, you have four left. Okay,
Okay.
so oh man. Um I guess I'll just pick Middletown Dreams because I love me some Power Windows and it's deep enough.
Still there.
Yep.
And I didn't pick it because I was counting on you to pick it, so that's great. Here we go. One of my new favorites, as a matter of fact. Fairly deep. Done live, I think, but yeah. But don't hear it often. Stars Look Down.
Okay.
I really, really. I was driving around yesterday, getting all deep and thinking, and driving a long distance, and I went, yeah. So
Might be my least favorite of the later era songs, believe it or not.
I'll host that one.
Yeah, someone else can host that one.
If Eric isn't, if Eric definitely gets pick. So
What was I gonna do? Oh, I wanted to have good news first. I love good news first. Most people don't, but we're gonna throw that on here.
all right. So I'm down to three left. Okay, we'll go hang around the 80s and 90s
Oh
again.
wait, actually, it's probably less because
Two.
Cygnus. Yeah, because
Oh, something took an extra line on the list.
yep. Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Let me
how many got left? One or two?
just gonna check. I think we each have two left. Yeah, that both Cygnus ones at the bottom of our list took an extra line when I made that second column, or I
Okay,
made
I
that
see.
third column. So yeah, we each have two left.
All right, down to the wire. Well, then I will hang in my era. What doesn't get enough love and will get me burned in the comments section? Uh, Red Tide. Excellent song. Did about 10 hours of studying for that roundtable between the science and the literature.
Actually, 10 hours.
What's that?
You said 10 hours of studying.
Give or take. I had fun with
Okay.
it.
All right. So, oh man, now we're getting down to some. I don't know what would be my favorites. I'm gonna go with Ceiling Unlimited. I really like Ceiling Unlimited. Um, Great driving song.
Yeah.
Just put it on and just jam, So,
My last one. Wow. All right. How do I close this out? I can't even call this a deep cut. It was a single, it had a video, except it was never played live after the tour. So that'll be my justification, but nobody's hero.
yep, good one. So this is my last one, right?
Yep.
Um, Assuming the counts are correct. I didn't number them, but we think they're correct. So I think I'd be doing a disservice to my favorite Rush record if I didn't include this. Um, uh, it's not quite super deep, but um, there's probably another song or two that are more popular than it on Power Windows. It did have a music video, but Mystic Rhythms. And I also saved this to the end because it's the last song on the record, and I thought it would be a nice closer for this playlist. So there's really nothing else that jumps out at me that is a favorite of mine that has to be on here. So uh, I think that's I think that's the one. Yeah. Yep. So folks probably won't be happy that we skipped over. Let's see, what did we
Let's
skipped
see.
over? Necromancer, Fountain of Lamneth, Cinderella Man, maybe Different Strings, Witch Hunt, and Vital Signs we skipped over, but
Yeah.
those were mentioned as in the comment section of the last episode that that whole album could be on the career defining one, and I would agree. But I would
Yes.
also agree if you want to say that they're deep cuts. Um,
Sorry, Nick. No room for superconductor.
we missed Force 10, we missed Prime Mover, but
Yeah.
again, Force 10 was not like New World Man, where it kind of probably should have been on the other one, but we had to keep to 50 songs, and in my opinion, Force 10 doesn't really fit as a deep cut. So,
Oh, goes to a chance and roll the bones for me. Both of them would have been on there, but there were others I wanted more. So.
anything you want to switch out last minute?
Uh,
Anything? Let's add a twist to this just for fun, since we're probably not going to do this again anytime soon.
right.
You take one song that I chose and replace it with one, and I take one song that you chose and replace it with one.
I knew you were going to go there. This is going to get ugly. All right. Well, I'm going to surprise everybody, and I'm actually going to pull a Clockwork song, pull Wish Them Well off,
Okay.
surprising even myself, and something that has to be on here. And Me Within.
Okay. I have no problem with that. Now, can I put Wish Them Well back for one of the songs that you chose? No, I'm not going to do
Yeah.
that. Just,
Yes. I went first. That's fair.
that's mean. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, the one that I'm going to pull is The Stars Look Down. I think that's relatively obvious. That's not why I
Doesn't
suggested
hurt
this.
as much as some of the others, so cool.
Yeah, that's not why I suggested this, but I think that's the one I'm going to pull.
Yeah.
And the one that I'm going to put on there, you know, to me, it's between Prime Mover and Cut to the Chase, both of which probably should be on here. Um, no, that's hard, but I think I like Prime Mover just a slight bit more, so I'm going to put Prime Mover on there.
Both from my favorite era, no
Sorry,
argument.
sorry, everybody who loves Cut to the Chase. I love it too, but all right, good list, good list. Obviously, there's probably a few that we're gonna, or actually, there's probably a more than a few that people wish were on here. This is a lot easier to want to add to it. I mean, you can't really argue what our personal favorites are. I mean, opinions are opinions, and they're not wrong, right? But I think there was a little bit of pushback, a little bit of argument on episode 223, the last one we did. But I think for the most part, we nailed that. I think we grabbed a few that we missed that were borderline deep cuts for here at the beginning, but had to be there. So in terms of the comments, in terms of where do we go from here? Let us know in the comments.
What you want included. These are
Exactly right.
preferences, so don't tell us our preferences are wrong. Tell us what you did want that we didn't include, or if you agreed with one of our picks, say, I'm glad to see this getting some love. Keep it positive.
Or this is going out on a Friday night. Take your entire day Saturday and pick your 50 favorite Rush deep cuts and leave them in the comments.
Yeah.
In one comment, please. For the love of God, you'll get blocked if you add 50 songs in one. Yeah, okay. Not by me, by YouTube. Yeah, so do the exercise with us like we suggested with the first one. I know a couple of people added a few. I mean, obviously it's a project and it's difficult to it's a lot easier to do this like on the spot like this. I mean, if we sit here and analyze this forever, we could probably take an entire day and do it. But there's 30 minutes of I guess our 50 favorite deep cuts between the two of us. So let us know what you think. Let us know what you would add. Do the exercise yourself. Support us on Ko-fi. Support our shop. Next week is going to be, well, this is the plan anyways. Sometimes plans change, but the plan is to do the 5th annual all-female panel for International Women's Month. It's crazy that it's the 5th annual. That's pretty crazy to me, but we got a good cast of female Rush fans because Rush girls rock, and they're going to be talking about back-to-back songs on albums, and they're going to be ranking what they think are their top 3. So, just for clarification, Tom Sawyer, Red Barchetta, Subdivision's Analog Kid, right? Big Money Grand Designs, right? They're gonna rank their top 3 of what they think are back-to-back songs on an album. Should be a tough one for them, but I'm sure they can handle it. And I'm not sure when you'll see me and Paul next, but we are going to take a little bit of a break from recording for after next week, for the next month, couple weeks, maybe 3 weeks. We'll be back sometime in the middle of April. I just wanted to make sure I said that in case it's not said on next week's episode, because I don't know how much they're aware of that. But those ladies that are on. But yeah, so we will see you in April sometime. Thanks everybody for watching. Take care.